Hello and good morning, dear students. Today we are going to begin the last chapter of your literature. This is Evans Tries an O Level, written by Colin Dexter. So, here in the heading, we can see that we have our main character, that is Evans, and he is going to try an O Level in education. In the heading, you can see a person sitting with his face in his hands behind the bars, and this is Evans. So Evans is actually behind the bars. He's a criminal and he wants to have this education. Introduction to the chapter. Evans Tries an O Level is a story of a criminal named Evans. In this story, Colin Dexter shows how an individual is able to shake the entire police department with his cleverness and ingenuity. So Evans is very clever, very genius, and he alone is able to shake the entire police department. He is referred to as Evans the Break. Evans has escaped from the prison 3 times earlier. That is why he is called Evans the Break by the police officials. So he is very smart. He has already escaped thrice. The way he plans his escape for the 4th time with the help of his friends outside the prison earns for him our secret admiration for his cleverness. So, as he has beautifully planned his escape, that is the reason the readers think that, oh, he's very clever. So, who's Evans? A criminal in Oxford prison and very clever. He wants to study German, and for this, he is getting evening classes. In the classes, there is only one student, that is Evans. Jail authorities arranged a teacher from a technical college, later known as original teacher, but one of Evans' friends. So the authorities arranged a teacher from technical college, but however Evans was very smart that the teacher actually in the end came out to be one of his friends. Evans wants to take an O-level test. Evans is very keen to get academic qualification in O-level test in German. The governor conceded to his request, arranged with the examination board to hold in the examination in Evans' cell. And governor was so nice, so kind by heart that he agreed, and he also made all the arrangements for exam, but the exam would be in Evans's cell. He would not be taken out for the test. A parson from St. Mary Church to be the invigilator. The governor takes precautions that during this exam Evans is not escaped. Governor fears that Evans may try to escape. Jackson is a senior prison officer and he comes to search Evans' cell. He found nothing. He spent 2 hours, removed nail, scissors and file. All the sharp objects from Evans' cell were taken away. Another prison officer to stay inside the cell till the examination. And a microphone was also set up. Jackson and Stephens visit Evans. Jackson and Stephens are 2 police officers there. Jackson is the senior one and Stephen is the junior one. Half an hour before the examination, Jackson and Stephen visited Evans' cell to have the last check. Evans was given a blade to shave himself. Stephens takes the blade after the shave. So, not even a single sharp object is there with Evans because they were afraid that Evans could hurt the invigilator if he had some sharp object and he could run away. Now, a very important point in Evans' escape was Evans' hat. Evans wore a filthy hat, very dirty. He refused to remove it and he said that he considered it to be lucky for him, and Jackson allowed him to wear it. First Jackson said him to remove his hat, but he said, please, it's my lucky charm and today I have exam. So he was given permission to wear hat. Actually, he had cut his long hair to impersonate the invigilator. But his hat was very important, not because of his being lucky charm, but because he had cut his hair like the invigilator. If hat would be removed, secret would be revealed. Then arrival of the invigilator is there. Invigilator Reverend Stuart McLeary is a parson who lived alone in his flat in Bourke Street. At 8:45 a.m., he arrived at the gate of prison, and then he was taken to Evans's cell. Introduced to Evans. So the invigilator finally reached to Evans's cell. Invigilator McLeary is investigated. He was also checked. The governor suspected that the invigilator rang up to Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson checked any weapon was there, suitcase, but nothing was there. So Mr. Jackson checked invigilator's suitcase as well. Evans was checked and the invigilator was also checked, because they had the fear that invigilator unintentionally maybe have brought some kind of sharp object and it could be a help to Evans. So the invigilator was checked. McLeary had a small semi-inflated rubber ring, and McLeary explained for this that he suffered from hemorrhoids, so he needs this to sit. Then what is the actual secret of rubber ring? Actually, the rubber ring contained pig's blood, later used to pretend that the invigilator was wounded to fool the jailers. In the end, it is showed that the invigilator is wounded, but it was not in reality. The real McLeary was tied and gagged in his flat, and the invigilator who had come, McLeary who had come, was again Evans's friend. Examination started. Evans instructed to write the index number 313 and his center number 271. Jailer Stephen was to be inside the cell, but Evans asked him to stay out. So Stephens was given duty that he would be sitting in the cell, but Evans complained that he is not able to concentrate on paper if somebody is noticing him. So again, governor with his nice heart agreed to Evans's demand, and he said Stephens to sit out of the cell. Stephen keenly watches through peephole. Next is correction in the question paper. At 9:40 a.m., the governor called about error in the question paper. Jackson informed, conveyed to the invigilator, and the error was about some word golden lion. A hint to Evans, and this was a hoax call, this was a fake call. So everything was happening inside the prison, but nobody was even having a doubt. The teacher who came was Evans's friend, but the jail authorities were not able to know that real McLeary, real invigilator did not come because he was gagged into his flat, and now the fake McLeary, who was again Evans's friend, came to invigilate, and this was again a fake phone call, and this golden lion was actually a part of Evans. Request for a prison van. The governor received another call from the magistrate, a prison van and 2 prison officials for a remand case. That was also a fake call. Evans's friends used it at the end. In the end, Evans's friend used this police van and police uniform, we'll see. This was all happening on the basis of Evans's plan and his friends. Stephens does his duty very well. He keeps his watch. Stephens is very alert. McLeary always reading newspaper with his finger hooked on the back of his collar. McLeary is sitting on the same position. Evans sat with his pen between his teeth. For the whole examination time, Evans is not writing anything. He is just having pen between his teeth because he doesn't know anything. Evans draped a blanket around him. Then there was a call for Stephens. 3 minutes before exam, a call for Stephens to accompany McLeary to the gate and check Evans's cell properly, whether it is locked or not. That was also a hoax call. Okay, again Evans's friend made this call as a governor, and they instructed Stephens to go in the end to drop McLeary to the gate. And McLeary is wounded. Stephens accompanied McLeary to the prison gate. On return, when he came to check Evans's cell, he found McLeary in Evans's seat, blood trickling down from head. So there were 2 McLearys now. One was dropped out by Stephens and second was sitting inside in a wounded position. He thought it might be Evans, but not. It was McLeary, so he called Jackson. McLeary escorts to arrest Evans. McLeary says that he'll go to arrest Evans. Detective Superintendent Carter arrives. McLeary says he's alright and knows where Evans has gone. So McCleary says that Evans had impersonated him. He had changed his appearance, but McCleary knew where Evans had gone. Governor sent both of them, McCleary and Carter. Governor gets angry. Why? Because Evans had kept a Parsons dress in the cell, not noticed by both Stephens and Jackson. Stephens and Jackson had gone twice to check Evans's cell, but still, Evans had extra clothes like invigilator, and he had all the kind of those things required to be like invigilator, and these all things were in the cell, but Jackson and Stephens were not able to know that or notice that. Behind the question paper, instructions for Evans to escape was there. Governor sure to arrest Evans. So governor thought that somebody from the board was there with Evans because there were instructions written on the question paper, and governor was very sure to arrest Evans because now he had also got the instructions, and somewhere he thought that he knew now where Evans had gone. Evans, personating McCleary, escapes. Carter, Governor McCleary, had spotted Evans in a car, Elsfield Way in a car. So Carter and McCleary, who were there going to see Evans, they chased the car but disappeared at Headington roundabout. So the car where Evans was there, it was disappeared at Headington roundabout. Then McCleary in hospital, who was wounded. McCleary went to the examination offices and appeared very ill. Called Radcliffe Hospital for an ambulance. Governor rang up and found that he was not there. So the McCleary who was wounded in the jail was taken to the hospital, but after some time he was not in the hospital. So the whole reality was the person who had gone with Stephens was real McCleary, and the person who was sitting inside like the wounded McCleary was Evans. So the person who went with Carter in the car was Evans. Two policemen called on McCleary and reached his flat. Evans's friend tied him, and Evans was impersonated and escaped from the examination hall through the ambulance. So the real McCleary was there in his flat, and Evans had now impersonating as McCleary had run away with the help of ambulance. Evans traced in his hotel room, and finally the governor was also smart and he traced Evans in a hotel room. Evans was happy in the hotel, shocked to find the governor. Governor traced the hotel Golden Lion. So Golden Lion, the correction was actually the name of the hotel, and the index number and center number referred to Chipping Norton in Ordnance Survey map, and the index number and center number given by the invigilator 313 and 271 were actually a location of this hotel. Evans confesses everything. Evans appreciates the governor's intelligence. Evans reveals all the facts of the game he had played, how he arranged clothes like McCleary, and how he was able to wound himself in all the kind of plans, and in each and every task his friends had helped him. And finally Evans is arrested. The governor and Evans come to the hotel lobby. The receptionist says that the prison officials are waiting with the prison van, and Evans is handcuffed. The governor is once again deceived, cheated, because Evans released. How? The prison officials unlocked the handcuff. Prison officials were none other than his servants who had asked for the prison van. If you remember, when the exam was going on, a phone call was there because they wanted some van and two police officers. So this van was the same demanded in the morning. They drove to Newbury. Evans escaped for the fourth time. Okay, so this is the story. This is really a good story, good plot. So we'll be reading it in the detail from the next video, but I'll again suggest you to pre-read the chapter. It will be making it easier for you to understand this chapter. Have a good day.